Hi, everyone.
Hi,
Thanks
everybody.
for joining. So this is mainly going to be Q&A. So if you have any questions, please post them in the live stream chat Discord channel, and we'll be monitoring that. Questions about the CTF or MetaCTF, or not sure. Are we answering questions about challenges, or is that pretty much done now?
Um, if you have any questions about challenges or flags, please email them. Please send a message to the MetaMail bot. Don't email us.
Well, we stopped answering questions about that at 11:30.
Yeah, we stopped answering questions. But if you have a problem with spinning a flag, for example, if you think you have the answer, but the platform is not accepting it, please submit it as soon as possible because we're currently being overwhelmed with with questions. So yeah. Yep. And if you have an issue with submitting flag and you think you have the answer, or you do have the answer, but you haven't been able to submit it into the platform, or you haven't at least notified us by the end of the competition, we're going to go back and fix it because just to be fair for everybody. Um, yes. So if you have any questions about us, about anything, feel free to post a message here on YouTube or in Discord. And we're still waiting on somebody to help us finish the presentation. So we'll present that soon. But yeah, right now
We're getting some feedback that you need to talk louder.
I need to talk louder. Okay, so maybe I'll try to make my computer slightly quieter. Let's see. Test. Hopefully that's better.
Let us know if that's better.
Um,
There's a question, do you want to give out a new bonus flag on the stream?
well, we currently only have 26 people watching, or 30. So I don't know.
I mean, it could be a reward for those 26.
Do you want to go quickly ask in the? Maybe I'll mute myself and I'll quickly go ask in the chat, in the admin chat.
I mean, it's up to you. You can make the decision.
I'll go ask somebody else. I'll go ask the team what the team thinks.
Okay.
Student group.
The non-student group.
You're not moving, by the way. I don't think.
Sure.
As long as you put it in the platform.
As long as you put it in the platform.
Okay, we'll try to fix the audio issue when Roman gets back.
Chris, I'm going to close that thread. You're on. Ooh, wait, I got Kimmy.
Oh, here.
Okay. It sounds like the audio issue is still there. Can you adjust your levels a little bit more? Make me quieter and you louder.
Oh, I think I was muted just now. I will make you even quieter. I'll make myself slightly louder.
Okay.
This is my first time using OBS, so please forgive me if there are any.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
There's a question, are you going to leave the challenges for a bit longer? So I think we're thinking of leaving challenges on read-only for a little while.
At least while, yes. So okay. At least while we finalize all the answer, at least while we're finalizing all the submissions, all the placings, we'll try to. We might have to disable the challenges at least for a few minutes, or even until we're done with the stream. Then we're gonna try to at least enable them in read-only mode, just so you can still look at them. But then at some point, once we take backups of the scoreboard, once we take backups of all the submissions, we'll re-enable submissions, so you can go back and and take a look and try the challenges. And then at some point, maybe a week later or a month later, we don't have a timeline for that yet, but we're really hoping to open up an ongoing competition where we'll be able to just provide challenges. We'll be able to take all these challenges and just leave them on perpetually, or even if not all of them, at least part of them. And I don't know if we'll have the time to answer any questions about the challenges or write-ups, or provide write-ups during the live stream. But after the event is over, we can help you answer questions in the channel. You're welcome to publish write-ups. Or let us know if you have any questions, or feel free to email us. Okay, so
and we're also probably going to leave the Discord open. So once we open our ongoing CTF, we'll post it in the Discord. Maybe if we see a bunch of good walkthroughs, like from people's personal blogs, we'll also post them on the Discord. We'll keep an eye out for that.
Okay, help me think of a bonus flag. When you make CTF challenges, that's the hardest part. It's not hard
Jake's job.
It's not hard to.
Jake is a flag generating machine. I'll ask him.
Well, no, they're busy. Okay. Yep. So if you. Okay, whatever. If you enter the word live stream into the bonus flag field, you'll get 100 points.
Really?
I couldn't think of anything better. I'm sorry. I'm under a lot of I have a lot of conversations, so I have time to think about it.
Okay.
And let me know if that doesn't work.
So there's some questions in general chat about the third Mr. Kaysen problem. I don't know if y'all are watching this or not, but you do not need to look in the metadata for that picture. You're supposed to look for things that stand out and then use that to narrow your search. So I don't know if you're watching, but that's what we have to say about it.
There's somebody knocking somewhere.
There's a question. Once the CTF ends at noon, we can post flag-related content. Yes, because we're also walkthroughs. Yeah, everything's fair game after that.
Once again, the bonus flag for turning into the live stream is the word live stream. If you have better suggestions, we can change that. Somebody is really excited to. Somebody's proposing Mr. Kaysen for president very aggressively.
Wow. Mr. Kaysen has become an icon. I think it's going to have to make a reappearance in later MetaCTFs.
We should use the. There's a lot of sound. Sorry about that. Yeah, so there was a question about posting flag-related things after the competition is over. We are. Sorry, I have to. There's a lot of. Yeah. I think Marina and I are in the same building, but there's somebody working on the building and knocking on the wall, and so that's why you can hear everything on live stream. But as soon as the competition is over, and please wait a few minutes after it's over, because anything can happen. We might have to postpone in 10 more minutes or something. But as soon as the competition is over, you're welcome to post solutions. You're welcome to answer questions about problems. Yeah, and so if you ask questions, there are thousands of you, and so even if you ask us a question about a solution or about a challenge, please know that it might take some time for us to actually answer it, because we have to go through a lot of different responses. We have to finalize a lot of different things. So if you don't hear from us, today, we'll try to answer everything, by the end of next week. Let's see.
Now we're getting feedback that the audio is very quiet.
Still from me, or
is anyone else still having audio problems? Please let us know in the live stream chat channel.
Somebody said that. Somebody joked that it's Mr. Kaysen knocking. You're muted.
They're still saying that my audio is louder.
I can make you even quieter.
Yeah, make me quieter.
Okay, so right now you're even quieter. Maybe I can adjust.
Test.
Okay, there's a we're gonna do another final AHA slides trivia question, and so since there's a delay, we'll try to keep it slow. But there is a delay given what's happening in real time, and so sorry if it takes us. Sorry if it takes you 30 seconds to hear the answer to a question you asked a while ago. Will there be a central repository where all the write-ups can be posted? Eventually, yes. We're thinking about opening up a blog where we can actually post those things. Yeah, we'll try to put something like that together, and if not, you know, we'll at least combine all the links all the write-ups by different other people into some kind of document. And you know, over time, over the next few months, we might actually it might get better.
If you do have like walkthroughs that you've run up though, feel free to send it in an email to us, contact@metactf.com, in case we do like open this blog and want you to like guest post on it. Also, someone asked, what's the bonus flag again? It's live stream.
That's a
someone asked,
I was going to say,
where is it?
So somebody made a pretty good comment that we can just make an extra channel for write-ups. So maybe we can just do that. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Someone's asking, will there be a walkthrough of solutions?
I might be able to get the problem admins to walk you through 2 or 3 different problems. I mean, we won't be able to walk you through all 50, 60 challenges, but maybe we can create a poll to see what challenges have the most questions. And then maybe at the end of the live stream, we can talk about those. What do you think, Marina?
Sorry, what was I was responding to one in Discord.
I was going to say that maybe we can create a poll for what questions we should walk through on the Discord.
Oh yeah, we should. Except there are like what 70 problems, so I don't know how we're gonna do that.
Maybe let's make a Google form for that.
Or what if they just post in the live stream chat which ones they want us to go over, and then we just kind of look at it and see which problem titles we're seeing.
You remember what happened yesterday when we?
We're gonna go over Basin. That's already decided. If there are other ones that you really want us to go over, let us know.
Well, we're probably gonna we're gonna get 1,000 different replies, and
I mean, how many people are watching? Like 30?
89.
So we get 89 replies.
Okay, let me catch up on the questions. So I guess we can start writing down the problems that we want to. So Mr. Kaysen, somebody wants GWT and TLS write-ups. So a lot of people want to see the scoreboard. We'll show you. The scoreboard is hidden on purpose. Yesterday in the beginning of the competition, it was not on purpose. It was. I guess I can tell you what happened. We're used to so MetaCTF runs a lot of competitions. I think this is our almost 40th CTF event. But all of the competitions until now have been much had way fewer people than almost 3,000. And so our scoreboard started slowing down. When it got close to like 1,000 participants, and so that's why last night I tried re-implementing it and adding some kind of fancy caching, adding a bunch, something on the back end to load the problems to calculate the scoreboard and update it properly. But I didn't realize that my caching script would take up all of the MySQL connections on the back end, and so I had to roll back some changes, and then Scoreboard became live and platform became live again. But we will release the scoreboard as soon as we announce the winners. Let's see.
Question for you, Roman. Are we planning to do the aha slides first or the conclusion slides first?
We'll need to ask more. Right? So I think we'll do the conclusion slides first. I think. I mean, so we will need some time to actually finalize the winners. So that's one of the reasons we are doing aha slides. We're not trying to, we aren't trying to just squeeze in content and make you wait. We just generally need some time to make sure we have everything ready, and then we'll announce the winners and depending on where Mariah's at, we can figure it out. Let's see. Let me see if there's anything else in the live stream. Yeah. So our platform has the ability to show stats for your individual team, for for all the teams. Like there are a lot of fancy graphs, but because we didn't, my caching scripts failed. Those things are going to take really long time to load. And so what I'm going to try to do is in the next 2 days, kind of implement some kind of essentially just calculate all the scoreboards and just hard code them into the platform. So then you'll be able to go back and look at and how you place within your team. Look at how teams solve challenges over time. We'll try to get those statistics back to you. So yeah, we have the data to tell you how you place within your team, but it's not something it doesn't change who gets what prizes. So in terms of the prizes, we only care about how you place in comparison to all the other teams, not within your team.
There was a question, is this your full-time job? It is Roman's full-time job. It's not my full-time job because I'm a grad student, so I'm doing that also. But maybe one day.
Yeah, but so MetaCTF started about 6 years ago. It was just a fun project we did in high school for our friends, and then a few years later we some people wanted to run private CTFs, and so now as a result we tried doing this. So after I graduated from UVA, I started working full time for MetaCTF, and so now we run private trainings, we run private events for a lot of different companies. But then in addition to that, we still run our annual event, kind of as a way to teach people, as a just to engage the community. I really like it. Hi Mariah, you're live.
Hello. I'll join video in just a second.
Yep. So Mariah is one of our co-founders as well. So myself, Marina, Mariah, and Jake were the four co-founders. We have a lot of volunteers who help us write the content, who help us answer questions. I can go over some names right now. Will you have a slide on that, Marina? Mariah, sorry. Later.
We do have a slide on that.
Okay, sounds good. So we'll just go over that later.
While Mariah's getting ready, I thought, because there was a question, is there a place where we can help contribute to the platform?
Email me at roman@metactf.com.
If you're asking whether it's open source, it's not, but we can always use help. So
and maybe
able to use your help.
And since we're a company, well, first of all, we might one day make it open source, but we still need to. I don't want to make it open source before I clean it up, and make it look nice, and things like that. But if you're interested in helping out or even joining the team at some point, reach out to us. My email address is roman@metactf.com. So if you have questions specifically about the platform, if you have any other questions, you can reach all of us at contact@metactf.com.
Also, Roman, do you want to say the bonus flag one more time for people who just joined?
Yes. The bonus flag is very anticlimactic. It's the word live stream. If you put that in, you'll get 100 extra points. And yeah, sorry that it's not a fancier flag. do we and once again, if you want us, we won't have the time to go over all of the challenges at the end. But if you have some, but if you voice the challenge you want us to go over in the live stream channel, we'll try it, and there are a lot of people like you. We'll try to go over it. But
I've seen a bunch of requests for Blake's secret message.
Blake's secret message. There's one challenge that a lot of people had questions about, but John Hammond literally gave a walkthrough of it yesterday in the live stream, and so yeah. Well, I guess we'll mention that later.
We're probably not going to go for that one.
Do you want to? Are you ready, Mariah?
Sure.
So this is Mariah. Do you want to? I guess do you want to introduce yourself a bit more?
Sure. So hi, I'm Mariah. I'm sorry I wasn't at the introduction. I was actually adopting this little guy. And so if you hear any, sounds or anything, it might be him. But so I'm also one of the co-founders of MetaCTF, and then I'll be going over in just a minute basically the conclusion for CyberGames, and then after that we'll do trivia, and then I think the results. Yep,
that's good. So whenever you're ready, we can start.
Okay. Give me just a second to share them then.
Let's see. A lot of people are asking about the scoreboard, but we'll show you the scoreboard. and after the competition is over, I'm going to go back and try to add some changes so that you can also see the stats and how you place within your team. And if you want us to, well, if you have any questions about your submissions or anything else, email us. We want to get to everything today, but we'll try to answer questions soon.
Also, just to clarify, because I saw post the Discord channel, the bonus flag is live stream, all one word, and you submit it. If you go to the top of the problems and you click bonus, that's where you submit it. Someone's asking, why is the scoreboard hidden? Roman?
Well, it's something we've been doing for a long time, but it's just a way to provide some kind of suspense. Well, usually in a lot of different competitions, if you know what the winners are, it's not really the final presentation when you actually announce the winners isn't that fun, and so but now that you don't know who the winners are, hopefully, unless figure out a way to see it in the platform, it's going to be it's suspenseful. So yeah, Mariah, you can start. I'll mute myself.
Okay, great. So I just want to start this off by, again, thanking our sponsors, because without them, we would not have been able to do this competition. So thank you all again for your support for this event and, helping it hopefully be successful. Hi. And I also want to take another moment here to thank Black Hills specifically, and then note that they actually have a Pay What You Can training course that is coming up that you can participate in. And so I would check that out. Their virtual booth in Discord also has that information and the link that you could click on and everything to go there. So definitely check that out if you're interested in it. They have awesome training sessions at Black Hills. Also, National University, they have a few different scholarships and a few other things to help out with cybersecurity education. So definitely check that out as well. And thank you again to them for sponsoring this event. And, just again, a special shout out to these individuals for helping, support the event, helping, run the live stream earlier, and then helping us basically set up the infrastructure for this event in the first place, and making sure that everything runs smoothly. So thank you all. This is just, our logo again. And I actually want to take a moment here and ask if anybody found the flag in this particular design for the event. I know there's a slight delay on this to the chat, but fun fact, there is a flag in here if you actually decode the different pieces of this. And so here, there around the circle, there is Morse, and then you have hex that you can decode, you've got binary, then you've also got octal over here. So if you take those 4 pieces, and if you actually decode them and put them together, there's a bonus flag in there. So if you haven't already, I would check that out. All right, so again with the thank yous, our problem developers and moderators have been absolutely essential in this, and we could not have done this event without them. So we want to thank them, and if you all could thank them as well in Discord. We've got Andrew, Andy, Ben, Brandon, Caleb, Chris, Daniel, Dylan, and Jack, who basically created the challenges that you all have been working on today. And they've also been the ones that have been helping answer all of the questions that people had throughout the event. And so huge shout out to them. They stayed up late, they got up early to help answer a lot of those questions and to work on these challenges and to make basically the competition what it is. So huge thank you to them, and reach out to them to thank them as well. We also want to thank the speakers and volunteers that helped with the event. And so the speakers that gave some of the talks yesterday, those talks are still available. The link to the live stream, I think it's in announcements, and if not, we can paste it again, is still available. So if you missed a talk or you want to just watch it again, or if you want to look through some of the challenge solutions that were gone over, then that data is still available and you can go back and rewatch that. And we also want to thank, again, obviously the event sponsors. For those of you that's joining in, I do have a puppy, so apologies if I take a second to say hello to him. All right, so we're going to do a quick debrief of the event. We're going to go over some stats. We're going to go over one of the challenges that we got a lot of questions about. I'm sure many of you can guess what that is. And then I think we're going to switch to trivia, if that's correct, before we actually go over the results. So I'll give you just a few numbers from the competition. There were 51 technical challenges that you all worked on over the past 24 hours. There were 12 bonuses that were included in the competition. I think that number does include the bonus that was revealed earlier on the live stream, which is just the word live stream. So if you missed that, if you just joined, there is another bonus. Although I think the competition just ended, actually, just now. So that we'll start tallying up the scores and take a look at the scoreboard and get all of the results sorted and share that shortly. And in terms of the number of participants, we had 2,761 people signed up for the competition. I think that's the most that we've ever had for a competition. Correct me if I'm wrong. So that's amazing. So thank you all for taking the time, this weekend to spend it with us and to work on different challenges and hopefully learn something new this weekend. I did not type out the number of countries, but it was, I think, in the 60s. I think 62 or something similar to that, which is also awesome. So we had people basically around the world that were working on this competition over the past 24 hours. And so that's awesome. Number of messages triage. We had a lot. That's not the actual number, but there were a lot of them. So thank you all for, caring enough to ask questions to basically figure out some of the challenges, kind of work your way through them. And again, thank you to our challenge developers and moderators for taking the time to go through those and kind of help people get to that next step in the challenge or figure out, like that missing piece that they had. So we did get a lot. We got over 50 every few minutes. And so definitely a lot of time spent there, but we hope that it was helpful. And we hope that, you learned something along the way, which is really the goal of this entire competition. I know we went over it in the beginning, in the introduction, and I wasn't there for that, but this is meant to be a learning competition. Obviously there's the competition piece where there's the top teams and there's, whoever has the most points wins there. But honestly, from our perspective, if you learn something this weekend, then you won and it was time well spent. All right, so we're going to go over a set of challenges that we got a lot of questions about during the competition. And so we think it was an interesting challenge. And we also think that there are a lot of questions. So we're just going to go over basically what those challenges were and then the best way to solve them. Or at least, I don't want to say the best way to solve it. One of the solutions that we have, and there may be other ways to solve it, but this is just the way that one solution. So Mr. Casson, or Cason, depending on who you ask. So the first question was finding Mr. Cason. And I just want to start with, this is a fictional person. It was created for the purposes of this competition. And so they would not be included in, say, any missing persons reports or anything like that. There's not, to our knowledge, a Mr. Kaysen in danger right now, but we thank you all for taking the time to look into his whereabouts. So for this challenge, you are basically told that there is a Mr. Kaysen who was reported missing, and you, in the challenge description, it says that they are in the Chicagoland area, but not in Illinois. And so, okay, well, I'll just go over the whole question first. And so then the goal of the challenge is to find what Mr. Kaysen's first name is. So and then you have 3 attempts. And so if you kind of start with the data that you have, that you were given in the challenge, so you know what you're trying to find. You're trying to find the first name of Mr. Kaysen. And you know that he lives in the Chicagoland area, but not in Illinois. So the first thing that you should try to look for is basically a list of cities in Chicagoland. And so once you find that list, and so this link here is one of the best sources to kind of look at that, you can look at the list and basically eliminate all of the options that are actually in Illinois, because we know that the city is not in Illinois. And I think that leaves you with, I think, 3 different options. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it does leave you with 3 different options. And so from there, OSINT, or open source intelligence, is basically doing different research, with the internet, with any open source resources that you have, to figure out, based on the data you have, what else you can find out. And so in this case, you now have the last name of a person, and you have at least a few different options for what city they live in. And so you would want to look up, basically Google or search engine of choice, any connections between those. And if you're not getting anything on those search hits, then you pivot to social media and see, okay, do they have a Facebook account? Do they have a LinkedIn account? Do they have a Twitter account? Do they have a MySpace account? I don't think there was a MySpace account for this particular challenge, but in general, the methodology is to check, what internet footprint did they leave, and seeing what information you can find there. And so I think he did have a few different social media profiles. And so then you could filter, you could search the name Kaysen, and if that specific social media had a way to filter by location, you could try the different cities that you had narrowed it down to kind of find that overlap. And if there's any additional questions, feel free to ask in the channel, and we can talk about it there. So that's the idea is basically to narrow down to a set of cities, and then use any social media profiles available to find that first name. Okay, the second one, ring ring. So related to the same person, presumably you would try this challenge after you found what Mr. Kaysen's first name was. And so now you're trying to find what their actual phone number is. So as you're going through some of the social media profiles, you'll see that there was a personal website that he maintained. There's different information about where he lives, and then what he likes to do, and similar. And then you can also see here on the left side that the website was actually hosted on GitHub. And so that's, another data point to add to your list of resources that you can try to find information from. So in this case, you want to go to GitHub. And if you go to GitHub, and if you're not familiar with GitHub, it basically is a code repository where you can store code and basically share with information with other people. And if you look,
we're on the final live stream, Mom.
And if you go through the commits, or basically the changes that were made to the code that sits in his GitHub repository, you can see that one of them, at one point, he basically said, hey, if you want to schedule a session, here's my email, or here's my number, and then later changed it to just be the email and not the phone number. And so you have to find that deleted data and then convert. And if you read it and convert those words to numbers, then you will get the phone number. So in this case, basically pivoting to the website, finding that the website was run out of GitHub, and then seeing if there's any information in GitHub, which in this case was a commit message. Okay, this is the one that we got the most questions about. We had a lot of questions about hangout spots. So in this one, you've gotten what Mr. Kaysen's first name is. You may have found his phone number. Now you want to find where he is. And so there was on his website, actually, I don't know if I have a screenshot of the website itself. From this piece on the website, there was a picture of, I think it was Theo's, a restaurant somewhere. But if you look at the hint for the challenge, the hint said the picture, this isn't the exact words, but basically the picture that you're looking for is not the most obvious one. So in this case, it's not the picture that's actually on the website. You actually need to go back to GitHub where we were before. And you need to find that at some point there was an image that was uploaded and then later deleted. And so that picture is this picture. And so a lot of you found this picture and you did an awesome job. So you were able to get to this point. But then you had some trouble actually finding where it was. And so we had a lot of people that tried to reverse image search it to see if there's any EXIF data or any metadata in the image to see if there's potentially a location included in the image. And in this case, there was nothing useful there, and there were no results in the reverse image searching. And so from this case, you actually needed to look at the picture and find, are there any significant landmarks or objects in this picture that I can use to pivot and find where this picture might be? And so again, taking all of the data that you have, all of the resources that you have, you now have Mr. Kaysen's first and last name. You have his phone number. You know that he uses GitHub. You know that he has different social media profiles, and you know where he lives in the city that he lives, in Hammond. And so you kind of then need to take all those points. You're like, okay, I've narrowed it down to a city. What else can I do? How else can I narrow it down? And so you obviously have the building here, this brick building. You have these trees. You can see that there's a parking lot next to the building. And then in the back here, there's this weird tall thing or an antenna or tower of sorts. And so what you can do is then go to Google Earth or similar and look at the city and see where that tower is. And so you can see here, this tower. And if you kind of spin it around, you can see all of the buildings surrounding the tower, and you can see the other locations. And so, okay, so now you have a better idea of the location and basically like streets that you can narrow it down to. And if you go to Street View, Google Street View, you can see that this was actually the street view of that particular building. And then if you zoom in, I don't know if it's this image, I think it might be, into the image, you can actually see the tag that says Hammond Public Library. And then after that, hi. And after that, you can basically Google it. And then once you have that location, you can find what the exact address is. And then that was the flag. There's obviously definitely other ways to solve this challenge. And if you had other interesting ways to solve this, we would love to hear about it. So feel free to put it in chat here, which I think a few of you have been doing already, or in Discord, because we'd love to know the different ways that you have solved those challenges as well. Okay, so our question for you is if you learned something new during this competition. We hope that you did. I know that we had people from a lot of different skill sets. Some people that this was their first CTF, others this might be their 50th CTF, or they might do security for a living, but maybe do one specific field that they work in, and tried out a few challenges from a few different categories. So we hope that no matter what skill level you were at, that you did learn something new and you learned something interesting, because that's obviously the goal of all of this. So that we hope that you did. And for now, this isn't the end of the presentation. We're going to get to results and trivia in just a minute. But for now, just to share this before we move over to that. One, thank you, all of you, for participating. We wouldn't have an event if nobody was interested in it. So thank you for participating in the first place. We do have a Twitter that you can share, some of your favorite challenges with us. And then we put it in announcements, and I think it was also linked in general, but we can send another link. That is a tiny URL version, though, of our feedback form, which basically gives us feedback. We want to know what we did well, what maybe we didn't do well, and we want to make those improvements in the future. But the only way we'll know that something wasn't working is if you let us know. And so we appreciate all of the people that have already given us that feedback. And if anybody else still hasn't submitted, we'd love to get that feedback as well. So I will pause here and I will pass it back to the live stream. But so yeah, thank you again. And that's our quick overview of our competition in the last 24 hours.
Thank you, Mariah, for doing the presentation. Jake just joined us on the stream, so he's the fourth co-founder. But very soon we'll do the trivia. I want to clarify a few things because there have been a lot of questions on the channel. Is that we will reveal the scoreboard. It was never meant to be a 4-minute thing. It's just to provide some kind of suspense. So we will get you the scores really soon. But the reason we aren't doing the scores right now is because we need some time to actually finalize everything and make sure we have all the scores are correct. Once again, thank you, Mariah, for the presentation. Jake, are you there? Are you ready?
I am ready.
That's good. So I'll briefly transition to the slide with the link. And in the meantime, you can present you can set up the slides.
Do you want me to go ahead and share the screen now, Roman?
Yep, you're not live.
With trivia?
Yep.
Alrighty, we all good?
Yep.
And just as a reminder, there will be a delay, so just go by what it says on your screen.
Yep.
I'll make you full screen.
All right, we'll give everyone a minute or two to get all signed up and into the competition.
Oh. You can go to the next slide. I hit it from the board. It's not gonna be visible. It's not gonna be live.
There we go. Looks like 120 players are in, 130. All right, just another minute so folks can join in the final trivia here. Seems like the number keeps going up still pretty quickly. Looks like a lot of people are still joining. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and move to start the quiz now.
Yeah, and you're still able to join even if you're a few questions late. You can still join, and and possibly even win.
All right, so we got the first question coming up here. What is the name of the first internet worm? And so we got the choices are Lawrence worm, Morris worm, I love you worm, and the Midome worm. And let's look at the results here that have just come in. Looks like the majority of people got it right. That is the Morris worm there. So good job, folks. I love you worm was a great guess, but not quite right. So we'll get moved on here to the second question. I'm going to try to leave a delay in between each of these questions just a bit So the live stream works out with the delay in there. So I'm going to go ahead and advance to the next question now. All right, question 2. Which of these is not a social engineering technique? And the 4 answer choices are smishing, whaling, vishing, or swishing. So this was a bit of a tricky one. We'll see how folks did. Looks like the majority got swishing, which is right. You might have guessed smishing. That is SMS-based phishing. That's a fairly recent coined term. And vishing is performing a social engineering attack over the phone, and whaling is targeting individuals that are more likely to have enough power, going after the people that say might be able to give you the information directly that you would need if you were a criminal trying to steal it, that is. So we're going to wait a few more seconds here, and we'll go on to question number 3. All right, question number 3 coming up here. It is, which of these people was a member of the Cult of the Dead Cow hacking group, CDC as they're known? The options are Kevin Mitnick, Mr. Kaysen, Beto O'Rourke, or Mark Abin. Is Mr. Kaysen a real person? I don't know. All right, time is up. Ooh, this is the first question the majority did not get it right. Yes, Beto O'Rourke was a member of the Cult of the Dead Cow back in the 90s. Kevin Mitnick, while well known for some of his, I guess, exploits in the 90s, was not a member of the CDC. So good guesses, though. And shout out to all of the 35 people that picked Mr. Kaysen here. He is a fake person that we created, but he will certainly live on in our hearts and in our minds after the end of this competition. All right, we'll wait just a couple more minutes. And I believe we're going to see the results here through 3 questions in. We have Panic at the top of the leaderboard, and then Luke, and then Bass, and then that rounds out our top 3, but very, very close at the top. We'll scroll through a couple. There's a Marina in there. Don't think that's the Marina on our live stream here.
No, it's not me.
All right, we're going to go on to question 4 now. Question 4, which of these is not the name of a lockpicking tool? So we couldn't have a physical event this year, but here's some virtual lockpicking going on. The options are pin key, curtain pick, rake pick, or a bump key. So looking for not a lockpicking tool here. And our responses are coming in. Ooh, wow, this was a savage question here. Curtain pick is not the right answer. It's actually a pin key. It was our made-up lockpicking tool. All of those other tools are used in various ways that you can use to pick the lock. Some of them, like a rake, are used to just like slide back and forth to push the pins into the right spot. And so they all kind of have their different use cases. But pin key is not an actual lockpicking tool. All right, here. So we're going to wait a couple more seconds and then go into question 5. All right, question number 5. Here we go. What is the term for a hard-coded string stored in the source code of an application that is concatenated with the password before it is hashed? Your options are salt, sugar, wasabi, and pepper. So keep in mind this is a hard-coded string stored in the source code of an application. Ooh, this was a tough question. Wow. The answer is not salt. The answer is actually pepper, is the term that people use for it. So a salt is usually a randomly generated unique string for every user. So that's stored next to the password in the database. So you might have a database column for the password and then a salt. And so every user will have a different salt, randomly generated salt assigned to them. And that way, even if two users have the same password, their hashes in the database will appear differently, which can be used to help thwart rainbow table attacks. But what a peppers actually does is it's another randomly generated string, but it's actually hard-coded into the source code of an application. And that way that even if all of the database contents were leaked, you in theory would not be able to crack any of the passwords, even if they were simple, like password 01. And this is because you don't know that randomly generated string that looks just like a salt, but it is the same appended as the same one that's appended to every single password and user, and it's not unique to each user. So that just helps ensure that even if all the database is compromised, then you won't be able to crack the password. So here's our result. 5 in. Looks like we have one person right at the top of the scoreboard with a clear lead. So we'll see if anyone can catch up. And there's quite a few competition in these next several places. Love the name Mr. Casson there in 12th place. All right, so we're going to go on to question 6 here. Peter Zatko is better known by this alias. Your options are L0PHT, Mudge, Fiber Optic, or Riser. And correct. Most people got this one correct. The answer is indeed Mudge. Very well done, folks. And Zane points out, as a good point about peppers, they don't necessarily have to be hard-coded into the application source code, but as long as they're kept secret and separate from the database, that'll still make them effective at doing their job. So that is a good point. But Mudge is the right answer for this one. Most people just know him by Mudge, but that is indeed his real name. And so we're going to go on and advance to question 7 now. All right, here we go. Question 7. What happens when you ping 1.1.1? That is not a typo. What happens when you ping 1.1.1? Do you get a failure? Or do you ping 1.0.1.1? Do you ping 1.1.0.1? Or do you ping 1.1.1.0? So this is, if you read the IPv4 spec quite closely, you might know the answer to this one. Wow. The 1.1.0.1 is actually the right answer. So this is kind of a shortcut that if you don't specify one of the octets of an IP address, it'll automatically fill in as a 0. So that's a trick that most people don't know. And how I like to use that personally is if you ping, so most people will ping either 1.1.1.1 or 8.8.8.8 when they're trying to see if they have internet connectivity. You can actually just ping 1.1, which is another of Cloudflare's addresses that acts just like the 4 ones. So you'd end up pinging, when you do ping 1.1, it'll expand to 1.0.0.1. So it does actually work, surprisingly enough. So you can experiment and have fun with zeros in your IP addresses in the future. All right, so question 8, getting down to the final 3 here. Which of these movies came out first? Our options are going to be Sneakers, Hackers, War Games, and Tron. The original Tron is what we were asking here. I saw some people in the live stream chat mentioning that. But yes, Tron came out just a few years before War Games. And then Hackers and Sneakers both came out in the mid to late 90s. But all of these movies are great, I guess, hacker style movies. So if you haven't watched any of them, and we'll add The Matrix to that list, highly recommend watching any of those movies. All right, here. Question 9 is coming up here in a few seconds. Question number 9. Which of these is not the name of an APT group? So we all like to give our APT groups fun names, and which of these is not one? So Fuzzy Snuggly Duck, Refined Kitten, Samurai Panda, or Mythic Leopard? All right, let's see how folks did here. Fuzzy Snuggly Duck almost won. All of these others are names that CrowdStrike uses to track the different APT groups that they're tracking. So these are different nation state attackers, and they're commonly associated. So CrowdStrike attributes Samurai Panda to China, for example, as a China state-sponsored attacker. And other companies use various different names. So FireEye uses the APT and then a number naming scheme. So they're all kind of tracked under different names, but to my knowledge, there's no actual APT named Fuzzy Snuggly Duck, although there definitely should be, because that'd be a fantastic name to track a different APT group. All right, we'll wait a couple more seconds, and then we're going to go ahead and advance to the final question here. All right. So question 10 coming right up. The blind hacker started MetaCTF talking about acronyms. So let's end with one. Which of these acronyms is correct? RFC, Request for Cason, CISO, the Chief Information Scapegoat Officer, Yara, a yet another ridiculous algorithm, or RCE for really clearly exploitable. So only one of these is a real acronym by most standards, although certainly you could use the other acronym, any of the other acronyms if you wanted to. But yes, Yara is indeed the tool that you use for like a pattern matching in looking to fingerprint malware and hunt for it. It is called Yara, and Yara does stand for yet another ridiculous algorithm. It also goes by yet another recursive algorithm. But all the others, great one. Shout out again to the 27 folks that picked Request for Cason here. So that concludes, and let's see see who won this one. But first, if you haven't already, make sure to enter your email address so we can send you prizes if you are at the top of the scoreboard. So we'll give a few seconds for people to enter in their information here. And then we'll go ahead and advance to the winner slide now. It looks like in the live stream chat, people are trying to get a group together to become the Fuzzy Snuggly Duck APT group. I like it. All right, our winner is, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but XFAVATAX, Fivata, surrounded by X's. We'll go with that. Congratulations, you are our winner today. And shout out to the next people finishing in second, third, and fourth here. Well done. You guys did really, really well in this trivia. And I'll just scroll through the results to see so you guys can see at the top of the leaderboard here how everyone did. Well done, though. And again, we hope you enjoyed the CTF this weekend. I'm going to pass it over to Roman now to do kind of a final closeout on the live stream. But thanks again for participating, and hope you all enjoyed it.
Hey, Robin, apparently you're muted. It says.
Yep. I
in Discord.
Oh,
Okay.
Sorry about that.
So repeat.
What did I start with? So first I started out with thanking everybody for participating. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you all taking the time out of your weekend doing this. So we're going to announce the scoreboard next, and right after we announce all the 10 winners, 5 from each of the tiers, we're going to turn the scoreboard back on. So you would be able to go back to the website and take a look at the prizes and take a look at the winners and look at it yourself. I do want to say that it's going to be kind of slow, just because there are a lot of people, there are a lot of participants. But over the next few hours, I'm going to try to essentially just change something in the code to make it much faster. We mentioned on the competition website that participants outside of the United States may not be eligible to receive prizes nor swag. As of now, we haven't kind of changed that, just because there are problems with, as a company, there are problems with sending money internationally. And shipping is very expensive for international participants. But we will, if that changes, we will come back and we'll make an announcement. Also, we're going to announce the top 5 student teams, and but we'll have to go back and and verify eligibility once again that you're actually a student. So I guess starting off with the non-student category, is the team in 5th place is the team Green Hat with 10,300 points. Their affiliation is Microsoft. We don't know if it's actually Microsoft or if it's something else, but congratulations. Actually, no, never mind. That was the overall scoreboard. That was not the student team. So I'm gonna apologize for that. Okay, so in 5th place for the student team, it is Team Space Dogs from UMBC with 9,125 points.
Hey, Roman, do you want to screen share the slides?
I don't have the slides. I haven't had the time to change. I've been trying to load the score. Well, just because of the how score while Jake was presenting everything.
Well, Mariah's going to share the slides.
Okay.
You can give the voiceover.
Okay, sounds good. So, in 4th place is Team Ponezors from Ponezors with 9,975 points. In 3rd place is Team TJCSC from Thomas Jefferson High School, Science and Technology, with 11,125 points. In 2nd place from the student team is Team Redpone from multiple universities with 14,950 points. And in 1st place is Team Colonel Poppers from Dakota State University. Congratulations. And once again, we're going to, maybe Mariah will be able to share the scoreboard, but in a few minutes, you'll be able to go back to the website and look at it yourself. Now, in the non-student category, in 5th place is the team Noraneko. No, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but the team had 7,800 points. In 4th place is Team Dads from USA with 8,550 points. In 3rd place is Team Debugman from Battelle and JMU with exactly 10,000 points. Now in 2nd place, actually, they're actually in 2nd place now. But in 2nd place is Team Green Hat from Microsoft with 10,300 points. And in 1st place is the team Seriously Rad Engineers with no affiliation with 10,825 points. And I'm going to I guess I can share my screen right now.
Sorry, I couldn't keep up with Roman. So now you have the first place one at least up for the non-student category.
Can somebody enable the I'm gonna try changing my presentation to the side.
Sure, I'll try to enable the scoreboard.
Yep. So here's the overall scoreboard. It should not be visible. But these are. Thank you once again, everybody, for participating. Once again, if the scoreboard is slow, stay tuned. It will get faster. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. Please message us on Discord. Please email us at contact@metactf.com. Message us on Twitter, anywhere. I think we are we going to cover any other problems, any other solutions, or not anymore?
I don't think so, but what I will say to remind people is that we do have a write-ups channel, so that's probably the best way if you're looking, if you're like, how do I solve this particular challenge? That would be the best place in like the next few hours, certainly, to look to see if someone's posted a write-up for how to solve a particular challenge that may have stumped you during the event. Or asking, I'm sure people will respond and be talkative in the general chat for a while. It sounds like some people will also post write-ups to CTF time, so that's another good place to look at. But certainly looking at the write-ups channel is probably the best place. And if you are still stuck or have additional questions, like Roman said, feel free to email us at contact@metactf.com, and we can try to follow up with you to give more specific information about a particular challenge.
Yeah. So, can you see if it's back live?
Yep, Roman, you're live.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. My OBS crashed. Next time we do this, we might need a better setup. So, what we're gonna say? So, I think somebody had a question about mailing prizes. So in the next few days, we will send out a Google form to the top 30 teams from student and non-student categories to enter your mailing addresses, and then we'll follow up about prizes. We'll mail you the swag from different sponsors. We have a few different items. There'll be MetaCTF shirts. We have a set of backdoors and breaches decks from Black Hills. So stay tuned. Are there any other questions in the channel? I guess we'll hang out for a few more minutes here in case anybody has questions. But other than that, thank you for joining us. Thank you for participating. Hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great week starting tomorrow. But thank you. Bye, everyone. Well, we'll still be here, but
We'll see you in Discord.
good. So there's a statement about the stats page. The stats page does not work right now. We disabled it to pretty much handle the load for the website because the stats page was one of the most resource intensive things on the website. But once again, I'll try to cache it, and so in the final email announcement we'll send out to everybody, we'll give you an update about the stats page, because I think it should be available. Am I? Somebody says that I'm muted. All right, guys. Well, I think there haven't been any questions that haven't been unanswered by anybody else on Discord. Let me check the YouTube stream once again. But if that's so, hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll end the stream here. Bye everyone.